Welcome to the Unwashed Asses, episode 86, recorded for Monday, February 25th, 2019. Sorry in the delay in getting this posted up here. It's been one hell of a week. I know I recorded the show for Friday on Sunday because we had downtime because of the winds, but the rest of the week's just been insane with not necessarily the amount of work, not the quantity, but the quality. And every job's just been kind of one shit show after the next, and a lot of driving around, more so than usual. So by the time I get done working out in the blistering cold, come home, you know the story by now. Pass out, wake up, do it all over again. And as such, I haven't had time to record during the day. So, again, apologies, but we're going to blast these out here and get you your weekly 3. Even if we don't get them on time, I do at least want to get you the weekly 3. Maybe I'll even be proactive at one point and record them in advance and then kick them out, but, sometimes it's hard to just come up with topics. But, rather than give you this old song and dance over and over again, let's talk about how my furnace has been out for 3 days. We noticed it Sunday, I think it was, because we woke up, and this isn't the first time it's happened, where we'll wake up and it's 56 or 58 degrees in the apartment. Just absolutely frigid, and you don't really notice it until you creak the blanket off just a little bit. It's like, geez, bro, it's freezing. And, the past couple times we were able to get it figured out where we just need to flip the breaker again, or the last time we just had to replace the filter, despite being in the time frame where they say, or at least this apartment says, every 3 months it needs to be replaced. We were in that, but I don't know if we were cranking out a bunch of dirty air or what the case was, but the filter was definitely the case last time. This time, though, new filter, flipping the breaker, it did nothing. The breaker would just actually get it to kick over. It would turn off for about 30 seconds and turn off, but it wouldn't actually blow any air. So, I called the property manager, what was it, Monday morning? Yeah, Monday morning. Saying, oh yeah, hey, just a heads up, our furnace appears to have gone out. We can't get it up and running. If you send somebody out, that'd be super. The little lady gets home later that night, and lo and behold, it's still not fixed. It's still frigid in the apartment. And typically when they come in to service anything, there's a notice, a work order, or something that's left on the counter. Nothing. There's nothing in here whatsoever. So all signs point to them not showing up. So with it being as late as it is, of course our property manager isn't there. We have to call the after hours service department, and he swore up and down somebody had been out there, but he didn't know what got fixed. He didn't know where the work order was, so he called around and still didn't. Oh, they changed the batteries. Are there batteries in a furnace? Let's do a quick Google, because this is something I totally forgot about. Are there batteries in a furnace? Oh, they changed it in the thermostat? Fuck you. Anywho, yeah, so they said they changed the batteries, and the work order was on the door supposedly, but that there's no way, because even if it was on the door and it came off, it would have been in our front entrance. It's not like it's outside. It would have blown away. So I don't believe anybody actually stopped by. But they couldn't come out that night, so they're like, oh, well, we'll have somebody stop out tomorrow. Do you need us to bring a space heater or anything? We already had a space heater going, so that worked. The next day, though, what the fuck was it? Can I find that paper order? That work order? This is fabulous podcasting here. I don't know where the work order went. But yeah, the next day, I want to say it was 3 days that it was fucking out. Because they were supposed to stop out, was it Tuesday? Wednesday it was fixed. I don't remember what happened Tuesday, why it wasn't fixed then. I should have a better memory about this, but I don't. But yeah, Wednesday they ultimately ended up stopping out and getting it finally fixed. And that's aggravating me that I can't place the events. But I know it was 3 days. Monday we called in, Wednesday is when it was finally fixed. Because Wednesday I got home from work, I'm like, oh, finally, hot air. Only for the fucking not the thermostat, but one of the smoke detectors to start going ape shit at 2 a.m. And when I say ape shit, it wasn't really like it was going off, but more of like a low battery alert. So we have 3 in the apartment. One's a carbon monoxide detector. I think the other one's just tied into the main building. But the one by the bathroom was just chirping and chirping and chirping. And so Rachel wakes me up. And now, bear in mind, it's 2 a.m. I'm not totally cognizant. I sleep naked, so I get up. I'm stumbling around the house all fat and bloated and naked and dragging a dining room chair around from smoke detector to smoke detector, trying to figure out which one's going off, because at that early in the morning and having just woken up, I'm not exactly with it, and so I can't pinpoint which detector's going off because there's red lights on all 3 of them that will occasionally flash. But we managed to kind of pin it down to the one by the bathroom. The hush button isn't doing anything at all, so every 30 to 40 seconds this shrill, piercing chirp just goes off. And I had remembered that in previous apartments I've lived in, it's tied into power. You just take it off the ceiling and disconnect the power from the back, remove the battery, you're good to go. But Rachel was under the impression that this would trigger the entire building. And being 2 a.m, and she had said she'd done it before, tried to do it before, and that's what happened. I wasn't willing to argue. But again, it's not something where we can really call out the emergency maintenance because they're not going to stop out at 2 a.m. to take care of something like that. So I was able to sleep through it, and in the morning I had found she had tried to make makeshift earplugs out of Kleenex, and apparently she didn't sleep too well. So that morning, Thursday morning, I call up maintenance. I should say I call up the landlord, and I don't get an answer twice. So I say, fuck this. I call up the emergency number for our maintenance, which it should be after hours only. But at this point, this has been going on because I woke up at 7, 5 hours now. You know what? Fuck this. I'm done with it. So call up after hours support. And he seems agitated that I'm calling him. I should have called property manager, explained that I had. It's like, okay, well, I'll get a work order in. We'll get somebody out. And it chirps and chirps and chirps and chirps. And I waited until 9 to make sure somebody was in. So it had been going for 7 hours at that point. Not until 3:45 does somebody show up. Now, granted, my patience broke and I started to try and get crafty because at this point I'm also feeling bad for the cats because they're hiding under a bed the entire time. Like, this chirping is aggravating them this much where they don't want to come out. They're not coming out to eat. They're not coming out to go to the bathroom. So something has to be done. So I take a gamble. And I unplug the power. And lo and behold, the entire building doesn't burst into screeching lights and sirens. And Nothing really ill happens. So I take the fucking smoke detector, I throw it under a couple heavy blankets, and there it sat until 3:45 when they finally showed up. Now, since then, they showed up. They first comment, "Oh yeah, your heat's working," and I kind of mutter, "Yeah, it only took you 3 days to fucking fix it." They replaced the thermostat. That's what it was. They replaced the thermostat. That's what finally fucking fixed it. So they come out. They replace the smoke detector. They then complain, "Oh yeah, we have like 5 different models that we use, and whenever we run out, they just order a different batch." I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of dumb." But there's really nothing more complicated to it than just replacing. I guess we had a bad unit. And all was well. Until a couple hours ago. Fuck, it started chirping again. I was in the shower and I heard it go off twice. The hush button works on this one, but I'm curious to see if it fucks up again. But there's definitely some animosity towards our maintenance team and the just general handling of it, because for 3 days we had to run a space heater just to get heat in the apartment. It's like, are they going to pay that electric bill? Because those fuckers, they draw a lot of juice. Are we going to see any discount in the rent? And I don't want to be a bitchy customer like folks that I deal with. "Oh, well, my service was out, I demand a credit." One, I don't handle credits. Two, they're going to give you like $1.50. And I don't know, it's more just the aggravation. And I want to say lack of customer service, but it's like, I live in an apartment, you're the landlord, you're supposed to take care of shit like this, and I shouldn't have to go 3 days without fucking heat in the middle of Wisconsin winter, where it's 10 degrees out and the real feel was -14. It was just not good. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Is I think winter's just getting to us. Every now and then we'll get a day where the temperature is still kind of cold, but the sun's really warm, and you get like a nice breeze. The snow's starting to melt, but again, there's ice everywhere, and I'm craving spring at this point. I want to be able to open up my windows again. I want to, sit on my balcony overlooking the city and, read a book. I want to I want the cold spell to break. Not that I necessarily want to rush into summer, but at this point, something's got to give. It's almost like a cabin fever or going stir crazy, and I don't know. Something's got to give. So, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot else for this one. This was going to be our hodgepodge episode. I guess we can kind of shoehorn this in. During our downtime, I had brought my laptop and installed a game to just kind of pass the time. It was Honeycam Studio. It was the premise of the game is that you run a webcam service, so you have to recruit cam girls and pay for like server upgrades and manage your business. And the idea is to have X number of followers before your 21-day time period is up. And I expected it to be like a super sleazy title, like, oh yeah, you're just gonna pretend to be a cam girl and diddle yourself and make chat and do all this bullshit stuff. I bought it for a laugh, and it ended up being a really fucking compelling game, because it's not so much, actually there's really nothing about being a cam girl. It's more managing the cam girls and managing resources. Like, all right, we need to train this girl to be a better performer, so send her to the strip club. We need to train this girl to look better, so send her to the boutique. And we have to build up a follower count, so do photo shoots. We have to have supplies on hand, like subscribe pillows or butt plugs or water bottles, and we unlock fetishes by doing those things. And recruiting different talent so we can meet certain demographics, so we can pump up our fan numbers and that. And then also doing cam shows to draw in the revenue. And it was a surprisingly addictive and frantic resource management game. It's only $7 on Steam right now. The sexual content is, I mean, it's there, I'm not going to lie, but it's not in your face. Like, the worst you have is the descriptions of the items, and then the loading screens are just scantily clad, but there's no actual nudity, there's no sex act actually taking place, except for when you whore out your girls at the local motel. I don't recommend doing that. AIDS is rampant over there. But it takes about an hour to get through the 21 days. Of course, you can save your game, and when you beat it, depending on the number of followers you've gotten, you get coins where you can buy different costumes and hairstyles for your girls. But I was playing it with a couple friends. We did a screencast up to the big 60-inch TV, and it was hilarious in, all right, we're running a shit show business. How do we make this better? How do we beat this game? And it was a learning experience, figuring out, okay, well, this worked here. This is going to be better for this. And each game got successively better and better and better. It was a fuckload of fun, like a lot more than I would have expected. So I come home and I make Rachel play, and she gets hooked. A couple rounds later, and all it is talk of us, how are we going to pimp out these hoes? And so that's what's going to happen this weekend, I think. We'll get it set up on her laptop, and we're going to go head to head and see who can recruit the most followers. But yeah, Honeycam Studio, definitely, if you're looking for something kind of cheap and different and still fun, give it a whirl. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, complaints, critiques, or otherwise just want to, shoot the shit, send an email over to theunwashedasses@gmail.com. Again, theunwashedasses@gmail.com. And, of course, this year, all we ask is that you tell a friend. Let somebody know about the show. We want to help make it grow, and that's how we do it. It's all word of mouth. They can get it wherever they get their podcasts normally. And, of course, YouTube. But if you want to go above and beyond, then patreon.com/0and09. Pitch in $1 or $2 a month, and that makes us super happy. But otherwise, I'll talk to you next time.